Hey everyone. So tonight we are Joby Marie and I have Dr. Philip Zinni, the ultimate health journey with Dr. Philip Zinni. Tonight we are going to be talking about the natural weight loss without the prescription side effects. So Dr. Philip, take it away, especially for this new year.
Thanks,
I'm
Joby.
super excited.
And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially this time of year, right? Because we're 3 weeks into the new year, and usually about 90% of people have already given up on whatever their New Year's resolution was for a variety of reasons. But the big issue that usually most people talk about at the beginning of the year is a new way or a new process of weight reduction or just to quote unquote lose weight. So there's a couple of things that we talk about with regard to weight reduction. And the two biggest goals are fat loss and then muscle mass preservation, or some people call that lean body mass preservation. Because when you think about it, the the way that we quote unquote lose weight um, optimally would be to reduce fat weight, reduce the adipose tissue. And if you want to be heart healthy, then the adipose tissue that you want to reduce is what we call visceral fat, which is the fat that surrounds the organs. That's the one that is pro-inflammatory. That's the one that causes insulin resistance, that causes metabolic syndrome, so high blood pressure, diabetes. Um, it can be contributed to or exacerbated by hyperlipidemia, which is high cholesterol. So the ultimate goal really is to reduce fat mass or reduce adipose tissue. So, unless you've been living under a rock, everyone has heard about the GLP-1s. Uh, those are the medications that are prescribed that are either injected or there are some pill forms, but usually it is injected. And this has been all the rage, literally, and people are getting fabulous results. The problem is that there are side effects. Uh, the biggest side effect is muscle mass reduction, or quite honestly, atrophy, where people kind of look smaller. They look like they're emaciated, or their skin is callous, is kind of sunken in or shallow. So much so that there's even a name. It's called Ozempic face because the cheeks are kind of hollowed out or shallow. And that's partially from the muscle loss, partially from collagen loss, and the elasticity of the skin isn't there. So that's the biggest side effect. And we need muscle to move around. You need muscle to burn calories, because the issue with weight reduction, when it really comes down to it, is the bottom line is you're either burning more calories than you're consuming, or you're trying to consume less calories than you're burning. So one of two things has to happen. You either burn more calories or you consume less. And then by increasing metabolism through either exercising or doing some of the things we're going to talk about today, that can help you with burning more calories. But the ultimate is this caloric deficit or imbalance, if you will, so that this way you can ultimately burn the fat. Because think of the fat as kind of like a bank account. It's a bank account of calories, not cash, but a bank account of calories. And this is the only time you want to deplete that bank account, because you want to get rid of those excess calories. You don't need them. We're in a modern society, and we're not going to be facing a starvation type of mode in the world. So we don't need the excess calories. So, how do we achieve this goal of fat loss while preserving the muscle mass? There's two aspects that we look at. One is to modulate the GI system, modulate the gut. The second is what we call thermogenesis. Thermogenesis just means burning fat, and you can burn fat by increasing your metabolism internally or kind of externally by doing exercise, and that increases your metabolism. So, we're going to dive into a little bit about those two components, the gut microbiome or the normal flora, and then we're going to talk about the thermogenesis. So the natural way to help out the gut microflora is via probiotics. Probiotics are friendly bacteria, and there's a couple of them: Clostridium botulism, Clostridium burgdorferi, Anabacterium hali, Akkermansia, and Bifidobacterium inviti. So big fancy words, but the big thing is the probiotics that we can give the body. So remember, we started off with the GLP-1s. So what the GLP-1s do is they mimic what the body is supposed to be producing from these probiotics. So if you give the body something, usually there's a trade-off. And we already talked about the trade-off, one, with muscle wasting, but the biggest trade-off that's deleterious or kind of bad for your health is increased risk of pancreatitis, increased risk of GI dyspepsia or GI distress, if you will. And then the real big ones, as if pancreatitis isn't big enough, is anxiety, depression, and frankly, suicide. So it's not really worth it, in my opinion, to take a prescription medication, especially since they're outrageously expensive, and it's not really doing anything naturally. So if you can do something naturally, that's always the best thing. So I'll take a question here. Should we test for thyroid issues, insulin, or PCOS? Oh my God, Lisa. So my background is functional medicine. So we look for the root cause. And that is part of the baseline testing that I always look for. Because again, you don't want to just kind of hone in on one thing. You want to look at everything, and you want to look at the root cause. And everyone that I've seen, and I just saw a young lady recently, her gut microbiome is off. She's underactive thyroid, and her hormones are off balance. So, yes, you have to look at those things. So, as far as blood work goes, it's a complete thyroid panel, complete hormone panel, looking at inflammatory markers. Those are C-reactive protein, things like uric acid level that can indicate off balance. In the pro-inflammatory aspect, C-peptide, insulin, H1C, hemoglobin A1C. And then if you've had any of the COVID vaccines, then you have to look at the COVID spike protein. You have to look at fibrinogen levels. And then the typical ones like cholesterol level. So it's a whole battery of tests that you have to look at in order to find out what are some of the exacerbating things or some of the root causes, if you will. Good question, and a good lead in to the next aspect, which is thermogenesis. Remember, thermogenesis is just increasing fat metabolism or fat breakdown. So there's a couple ways of doing that. One is by substances that naturally burn fat. And the most common ones are capsaicin. That's usually from chili pepper. Um, the other one that most people don't heard of is fucosamine. Those are the things that kind of turn the heat up on metabolism, turn the heat up on thermogenesis. So that's one class. And then there's a whole other class that help to improve glucose metabolism, reduce insulin resistance. Remember, because Lisa was asking about what tests, and some of the tests I mentioned are looking at glucose metabolism. So there are things like bitter melon, which is also called citrus aurantium, the chaste tree berry, berberine, chromium picoline. Um, those things have been around for a long time. And I've done a lot of research because we're in the process of formulating um, a, a second generation, if you will, of an existing product that is doing extremely well, which is called Shape and Burn. And what the Shape and Burn does is it helps to naturally boost metabolism through some of the more common things that we're kind of already aware of, like green tea uh, and L-theanine and beta-alanine. Those things help out. But what we're researching is what are some of the other thermogenic ones that we could add on, kind of like a stack, in other words, to help with extending the effect of the shape and burn. Because there are some people, small case, small portion, I should say, of people that can't handle even the caffeine in green tea. So we need to help them out. They can usually maybe take one capsule in the very early morning, but then if they have something later on in the afternoon, they're so caffeine sensitive, even though it's a natural occurring caffeine through green tea, they need something else. So that's where we can stack on a thermogenic booster, the probiotics. And then the last thing we'll talk about is stress, right? Everyone is stressed. If you look at most people, their cortisol levels are inappropriate. In other words, there should be this, what we call a diurnal curve. And in that diurnal curve, there should be a natural spike in the morning. It kind of drops off a little bit in the mid morning to early afternoon. It has a little bit of a bump and then drops off again um, right around dinner time, going into bedtime. Most people, um, if they have any kind of a bump, it's a small one in the morning. It's not a big bump like we should have. Or, and I see this less often, people are kind of flatlined. And those are the people that are adrenally exhausted. Most people are fatigued, which means they have a little bit of a bump, and then they kind of tail off as opposed to exhausted or just kind of a flat line. So we have things like ashwagandha, which is in our extreme shake. And then, like I mentioned before, we have L-theanine. So we wanted to come up with a product that would help to hit all these different aspects, that would help out with the probiotics, because the probiotics, by naturally stimulating the body to produce this GLP-1, is a natural appetite suppressant. So it's natural. And then we have these thermogenic ones that will help out with insulin resistance, that is usually a cause of pro-inflammation, either in a person's diet or previous lifestyle that just hasn't been corrected. And then, of course, the last thing is taking care of the stress in an individual's life, and that's where cortisol comes in. So there was a quick question that I saw pop up, and I forgot to see the name, but it's protein. So interesting point, because as you're reducing your weight, um, people are going to be naturally kind of modifying their caloric intake, which you should do. And there was a study that came out about a month ago that stated that the average American diet is getting in about half of the protein they should get in. So a quick rule of thumb is about 2 um, 2 grams of protein per lean body mass. So, in other words, if a person weighs about uh, the average person is like 75 kilos, which is 150 pounds. Their lean body mass is maybe about 100, 125 pounds. So they should be getting in anywhere from 100 to maybe 150 um, grams of protein in. So whatever you think you're getting in, you're probably not getting in enough. How many days per week should I work out realistically? So, I mean, you should be physically active every day. However, if you haven't done anything, you don't start being massively physically active every day. And what I mean by that is if you've done nothing, then the first thing to do is just get moving, go for a walk, 10 minutes maybe, something like that. If you haven't lifted any weights, then just start doing body weight exercise. So that means like push ups or sit ups or squats going from a chair to a stand up position, and then gradually work into doing weights. Ultimately, you probably want to do weights uh, minimally twice a week. You might want to work up to 3 times a week because, again, the more you work on your big muscle groups, the better you're going to be able to preserve your muscle mass. Mark asks, are there natural alternatives we can try first? Yeah, that's everything we just talked about. Um, all the probiotics, all the natural supplements we just talked about. The only thing we're trying to do is put it together into one package. So this way you don't have to go out shopping at your natural health food store and trying to pick all these up at once. You can just pick up one. Um, the other part of this, and I alluded to it when I mentioned metabolic syndrome, is inflammation. So inflammation is, again, outside stress caused by what you eat, how you live in the environment. So that's where things like mangosteen come into play as a supplement, and moringa come into play as a supplement because they're natural antioxidants, natural anti-inflammatories. The biggest one is glutathione because your body dramatically stops producing it in robust fashion at about age 40. So at that point, you have to supplement because you're not getting enough. So I'm the medical director of a clinic, and people that can afford it will come in for a glutathione either IV or injection. The problem is it's expensive. And then the second, and maybe even the bigger issue, is the half-life is so short, about 90 minutes, and it's completely out of your body in about 6 to 8 hours, which means until you come in again, your body is deprived or depleted of glutathione. So that's where replacing it and helping it out is beneficial. Could I be deficient in something that affects metabolism or cravings? Yes. And that's where early on Lisa um, asked about what um, what tests are beneficial. So we look at thyroid function, we look at vitamins, so B12, folate, iodine, magnesium, zinc, all those things are helpful. So yeah, there could be. Cravings usually come from that metabolic syndrome effect where your insulin level is high and your body is starting to crave carbohydrates to satisfy this high level of insulin that's trying to get rid of blood sugar. Or, and no offense, I'm not picking on anyone out there, but it's been shown in the research that the more mRNA vaccines a person gets, the worse off the gut microbiome is, which means you could be giving yourself this GLP-1 mimicker, And unfortunately, it's not replenishing what the gut needs. And that's what the probiotic does. Wilma, quote, if you were in my body with my schedule, what would you do first for the next 30 days? Wow. Um, Wilma, I don't know what your body looks like. However, the first thing is get a journal. Um, I'm also the medical advisor for a clinic network around the country called the Red Light Method. And the owner said, what can we do to help people out? And we came up with a journal. So just journal, which means write down every day what you're eating, why you're eating it, and what time you're eating it. Chart how much water you're drinking and making sure that you're getting in at least 8 ounces of water. So 1 cup, at least 8 of them a day. Unless you have any type of kidney problem, heart problem, most of the advice is half your body weight in ounces of water a day. That's the cheapest, most natural appetite suppressant because most people confuse thirst and hunger. So if you get rid of the thirst, which may be masquerading as hunger, then that'll help out. Next thing, get moving. No matter what it is, just get moving. And then lastly, get on minimally some type of baseline foundation of a supplement. And like I mentioned, if you only had to pick one, unless you're in your 20s, when the glutathione production is kind of high, if you're at 40 or more, then you need to get at least on glutathione. The others are a good foundation for yourself. So that's probably the easiest thing to do. And then when it comes to food, concentrate on lean proteins and concentrate on green leafy vegetables as your carbohydrate. And that'll be the best thing for you. And when speaking about lean protein, you want to make sure that you're emphasizing wild caught fish, organic poultry, so that means chicken or turkey. And then down the line is pork or beef, and make sure that that's organic and it doesn't have hormones in it, because those hormones can eventually get through into your system. So hopefully that helped out. Patrice, I was on GLP-1 and lost weight. I haven't gained in a year, but lost muscle, which was the first thing I talked about, right? So you're going to have to try to get back into the gym and try to work on big muscle work. If you don't have access to a personal trainer, you might want to at least get some guidance with a personal trainer and up your lean protein that we just talked about. I want to be conscientious of everyone's time. We're at the bottom of the hour. Any other questions, Joby? I just realized I just talked the whole 30 minutes. I apologize.
No, that's good, Dr. Philip. It's a really good conversation, especially with the muscle loss. So if, a lot of people do have that question in reference to the muscle loss and what they have to do to start gaining that muscle back into their body, especially if they lost so much muscle. And you answered it perfectly well.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. I was trying to make my screen bigger and I accidentally canceled out. I'm back.
Yeah,
So,
no,
what are
I was
we?
saying that it was great conversation, especially with the muscle loss, Dr. Philip, and you
Yeah,
explaining that in
yeah,
detail. Hmm.
yeah. What other questions?
So there's no more questions.
Okay.
I know that we are the Living Well, the Ultimate Health Journey. And Dr. Philip, when's the next date that we're going to be on live again at 8 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time?
Yeah. So I thought we set ourselves up. Let me go back. Yeah, I thought we set ourselves up for the first and third Thursday. The only reason why we didn't do it the first Thursday was because of because of New Year's.
Yes.
So next will be um,
February 5th.
yeah, exactly.
So the next time you'll be seeing us, Living Well, the Ultimate Health Journey with Dr. Philip Zinni, will be February 5th. Get your questions together, everyone. We're going to have a perfect topic that Dr. Philip's going to be answering all of our questions. And then we also just want to thank everyone for watching our live and being here. We do have Alice behind the scenes. And Dr. Philip, what's going to be the topic for next February 5th?
So I think we should maybe do a little bit deeper dive
Okay.
on weight reduction and maybe some of the tests that we should talk about. Because it seems like that was a big concern about what are some of the underlying tests that we should do.
Okay.
Unless someone else has a burning topic they want to talk about in the chat, be more than happy to talk about that too.
Okay. So stay tuned for an informative video as well. Alice is going to be loading up a video for you all to watch. And also be ready. Be ready with any questions for Dr. Philip, especially with any testings that you are looking to get for your body and to get more details on that, okay?
Amen.
Amen.
Good deal. Thanks, Jovi.
Thank you, Dr. Philip. Also, the products, you can purchase them on the link, and it's under the Ultimate Health Journey at Social X. Or no, I'm sorry, it's wellbeingpath.socialx.com/auxiliary. So get your purchase done. All of the products that we do have, we actually have 60 days to return them if you're not satisfied with the purchase. I've never heard of anything like that. Everyone that I've known has loved the products. I love the products. I know Alice loves the products as well, and Dr. Philip Zinni as well. So try them out. Give them a try, see how it works, and then test them out. And then we have some more questions, especially that you can also follow up with Dr. Philip February 5th at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Central Time, and it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Time as well. All right? Anything else you want to add to this, Dr. Philip?
Bless you for hosting us. Thank you, Alice, behind the scenes. Be well and look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
All right. Thank you so much.
In a world full of broken systems, Social X is the brand rewriting the rules of wellness. This is where modern science meets ancient wisdom, where transformation is simple, and every product helps you take back your energy, your body, your confidence, your life. We're not just another wellness company. We are a movement built to get social, be exceptional. We are Social X. What makes us different? We believe in results you can feel, products you can trust, and a mission you can stand behind. Every formula is doctor endorsed, rooted in clean ingredients, and created to support real-life change without the guesswork or fluff. We use science-backed innovation, emotional connection, and breakthrough delivery systems to bring wellness to you in seconds. This is health reinvented. Let's start with our 3 most powerful products created with our exclusive patent-pending technology. Once you try them, you'll want to use and share with everyone you know. They are a total health trifecta. Glutamist Glutathione, Xanthomist Plus, and our latest breakthrough, Moringa Mist. Our nano encapsulation mists surge into your bloodstream in as little as 4 seconds, are on their way to your liver in 15 seconds, and in all vital organs in the body beginning in minutes. And all are made with an exclusive technology with a micronutrient blend formulated to support overall cellular health. The more consistently you use these mists, the more you're supporting the body's ability to replicate healthier cells. Unlike pills or powders, these mists are absorbed through your mouth in as little as seconds, helping support efficient nutrient delivery with fast onset and clean taste. No fillers, no nonsense. What makes them unique? It's all in the science. Nano-sized nutrients that support deeper cellular absorption, easy delivery that bypasses digestion, and a format you can feel fast. Detox with Glutamist Glutathione. Often called our body's master antioxidant, it helps support detox, liver health, skin clarity and radiance, cellular protection, and healthy aging. Defend with Xanthomist Plus. Powered by mangosteen, a legendary superfruit loaded with antioxidants and powerful xanthone molecules. It helps support healthy inflammation response, immune system function, cellular vitality, and youthful energy. Power up with Moringa Mist. Moringa is known as the miracle tree and is one of the most nutrient-dense plants on Earth. Moringa delivers a broad spectrum of phytonutrients, including over 92 verifiable nutrients, 36 naturally occurring supportive compounds, more than 40 antioxidants, and all 20 amino acids, helping support daily energy, balance, and overall wellness. The results? Our total health trio of mists are more than just wellness products. They're your simple daily system designed to help you feel exceptional from the inside out. But the power of Social X doesn't stop there. Introducing Exhilarate Clean Energy Drink. A clean, plant-powered boost made with green tea, ginseng, GABA, B vitamins, and natural caffeine. It helps support all-day energy without the crash, a better mood and stress response, along with increased hydration and mental clarity. Unleash your potential with every sip. This all-natural energy drink doesn't just fuel you, it drives your ambition and keeps you at the top of your game. And all our products come with a 100% 60-day money-back guarantee that includes shipping, handling, and taxes. This is your moment to reclaim your wellness, energy, and future. With products you believe in, with a company that believes in you. Get social. Be exceptional. Be Social X.